dating after college. So what about dating after college? Honestly, you guys keep asking me all these relationship questions, and I don't have one answer. And honestly, I didn't actually date during college either. So what about dating after college? Is it how do you date? How do you date after college? You meet someone, you get along with someone, you get to know that person a little bit better, and if it works, then you take it to the next level. So I'm not really sure what it is that's challenging dating whenever. But in my experience, in the last episode or in the last session, I talked about when I first dated and I was in my late 20s, and I was a lot more settled, and I guess I had a little bit more time. So the thing is for me is to not have any expectations because okay, for me my stand was this: if something happens, it happens. If something doesn't happen, I feel that we need to be able to be on our own and not to depend on someone else for whatever it is that we're looking for in our lives. And for me, at that point in time, I was very clear on what I wanted in my life. Okay, and at that point in time, my focus was on my business, and my focus remained on my business. It was what I wanted to do at that point in my life. I was in my late 20s, and that was also when I shared in the last session. That was when I started my first business. That was when I experienced the Asian financial crisis, and then after that the dot-com boom. So things were really happening very very fast, and I was having a lot of fun in my life. So dating wasn't anything. Dating wasn't a priority. It wasn't something that I was thinking about very much. Along the way, I met people socially, with no expectations, and um, people got interested, and that's how it happened. So I don't have one thing, okay, and that was also my life in the 1990s. That was 20 over years ago. How the world is today, I think it's a lot easier to meet people. There's a lot of okay, I think I could be wrong. I think it's a lot easier to meet people because we have access. We have a lot of access, okay, online. Okay, we have a lot of apps. We have a lot of things. And I guess there's also pros and cons because as easy as it is to meet people, we can't also. I feel also is there is also a divide, okay, in the people that we meet if we use online um, ways to meet people. So personally, for me, it's always about having the real person. So I don't know how it is for you guys right now. I don't know if it's easier or harder, but what I do know is you've got to be clear about what it is you want in your life first. We've got to be clear about what it is that we want in our lives, and it's never about the other person. And of course, also my dating experience. I can't generalize because I'm not sure how women see this. And women have different needs. Okay, and I've never dated a woman. So in the world that I'm in, relationships are a little bit different as well, and we've got different norms, and we've got different ways on how things happened. So I don't have one answer. Okay, the only thing I can say is be clear what you want. Be clear what you want. It's not about you. It's not about the other person. It's not about whoever the other person is, and it's not about depending on the other person. Whether or not we get into a relationship, we've got to be totally okay being on our own. And maybe then that's how magic will happen. And that was how it was with me, okay, 20 over years ago, and 20 plus years later, I'm still in the same relationship. And that was way after college. So I don't think, and maybe also after college might be a little bit better because you're more stable, you're a little bit more, you've seen the world a little bit more, you've met more people, and you have more choice. Not a relationship coach. Is spirituality just the world of soul? Wow, you guys are really asking interesting questions. I think there are two things. I think spirituality and soul are two separate things, though we tend to collapse the two concepts very frequently. I cannot speak for other people, but to me, spirituality is about something bigger than who I am. I don't have a particular religion, so I'm not religious. I don't have a particular religion that I subscribe to or observe, and I tend not to like that because it's controversial, it's man-made, it's for a lot of reasons. I tend to say that I am more spiritual, that there is something more than who we are as humans. There's something bigger out there. Whatever that something is, each of us have got different names or terms for it. And to me, spirituality is about finding meaning and fulfillment in my life. It's about being at peace. It's about finding my purpose and why I'm here. And that's an ongoing conversation. Do I ever know? Will I ever know? I don't know if I will ever know. But at any point in time, I know that there's something bigger than me. Okay, so that's spirituality for me. When we use the term soul, or what I understand when people use the term soul, we refer to something, I don't know, an energy, a spirit, a non-physical form of who we are. Okay, so that's different. So that non-physical form of who we are that we call soul, and how we practice our lives in finding meaning and fulfillment are two separate things. Okay, so is spirituality just the world of soul? I think the definition differs depending on who it is. I don't have a right or wrong, and I don't know if we will ever know. Okay, because who has the right answer? Maybe we will not find out ever in this lifetime, but does it matter? Okay, to me, it is just living my life fully. Okay, and I've talked about this before. My only job in this lifetime is to be the best version of who I am. Who put me here? I don't know. Okay, where do I go after this? I don't know. I only know between the two dates, the date that I was born and the date that has no tomorrow for me, the date when I say goodbye to this physical reality. Between these two dates, I've got to make the best of this journey. It is like this. Okay, if you're traveling, if I am traveling from where I am to, I don't know, somewhere, London, Okay, and I can only travel once. I can only travel that journey once. Then how will I travel that journey to have the best experience? So that's, to me, what I need to do. Okay, it doesn't matter spirituality, so okay, whatever works for you. Okay. Some people seem to be positive on the outside, but obviously they have no so-called soul. Why is that? I am not sure when we see if they have no so-called soul, okay, or what that really means. But what I do know is this: in the work that we do, in the work that I do, in how I work with people, and what I do when I work with people is to help people discover their strengths or discover their strengths quotient. And the strengths quotient is made up of three elements. Okay, and the first element is why we do things. Okay, what motivates us to do things, and there are seven dimensions of what motivates us. And economics, where money falls under, is one of them. But a lot of people talk about economics than the other six elements. And the other six elements is about having balance in life, standing out, okay, having being in a position of power, being in a structured environment, the love of learning, giving back. I think that's 6 or 7, yeah. Okay, so there are seven dimensions of what motivates us. Okay, and then there is how we interact with the environment. Okay, how we deal with problems with people, how we deal with the speed or the pace of the environment, and how we deal with information in the environment. Okay, how we interact, and each of us have a different way of doing that. And after that, there is the third element, which is how we are talented. The talents that we have, how we automatically think, feel, and behave. Okay, how we are wired genetically to be good at certain things, okay, and not so good at others. And how we turn those talents, how we develop those talents into strengths, because what's automatic for us may not necessarily be a strength, because what's automatic for us, if it can work for us, it can also work against us. And if it works against us, it's a weakness. So we need to turn these talents, we need to develop these talents by learning, by acquiring knowledge, skills, tools, and then practice and making corrections. That helps us train our talents to become strengths, okay, which is our ability to create results at a high level of excellence, okay, consistently in a sustainable manner. Okay, so these are the three elements of what we call the strengths quotient. Now, all of us have got different combinations of these elements, okay, that give us our unique position of strength. So we are unique. Each of us have got our superpowers that needs to be developed, that will allow us to optimize the outcomes that we create in our lives. Okay, so that's the strengths quotient. Now, one of the talents is this talent that's called positivity. Okay, people who have this talent that's called positivity, okay, are positive all the time. You can't beat them down. You beat them down, they will bounce back up again very quickly. Nothing seems to be able to get them down. Okay, so we see these people as, wow, they're so positive on the outside. That's how they are wired. Okay, that's how they're wired. Now, this positivity talent can work for them. It can also work against them. They can be so positive. That nothing can be negative. Nothing can ever affect them. But sometimes that is not true. Okay, sometimes they get beaten down. Okay, but then they put up this positivity. They don't actually put it up. Okay, they just go into this positivity mode. Okay, they can't help it. Even though they may be hurting inside, they will go into this positivity mode. Okay, and because of this positivity mode, sometimes it is also hard to know them because we don't see their vulnerabilities. They don't show their vulnerabilities, and that goes on overdrive. Okay, and maybe that is perceived a certain way by other people who look at that and say, how can anyone be so positive all the time? Well, they can. It's just whether it works for them or it works against them. So in the work that we do for people with high positivity, at the end of the day, what is important are the results that that they create. So we look at the results, and the question we ask is this: is this working for you? Are you getting what you want in your life? If not, then how do you turn this talent? How do you develop this talent so that it can work in an optimal way for you instead of against you? So I see people being positive from this perspective right now. Okay, it wasn't always like this. Okay, before I learned all this, before we developed this framework, I probably had an opinion as well about how someone can be so positive all the time to the point of me not being able to know the person. Okay, now I know why. Okay, and whether they have a soul or not, okay, I think that is a judgment that we have that is not necessary. Because how do we know? How do we know that they have no soul inside? And even if whether they have a soul or not doesn't matter. Okay, in the end, the thing to me is this: to be able to first acknowledge and recognize our own strengths quotient. Okay, what we're motivated by, how we show up in the world, and how we are talented, and how I turn this. Okay, how do I turn my strengths quotient into an asset, into a strength that enables me to get the outcomes that I want with the least effort necessary. Okay, to face the obstacles, challenges, and struggles in my life in a way that will help me win. Okay, I need to acknowledge that. But how that works for me and how that works for somebody else, it is not the same. So I cannot use who I am and how that shows up for me as a standard to compare against somebody else. In the same way, I need to recognize and acknowledge what that is for me. I also need to recognize and acknowledge the beauty and uniqueness of every individual on this planet. That they are wired differently, that they're gifted differently, and they have different superpowers. And to withhold my judgment because there's no right or wrong. Okay, I am no better or worse than anyone, and they are no better or worse than me. We are all just different. Okay, it's like we cannot take an orange and an apple and compare which is better. It's not a fair comparison. The orange is best being an orange. The apple is best being an apple. They cannot be each other. Okay, and if they try, they're going to fail. So it's just being the best orange that I can, being the best apple that you can, and being the best orange and apple and being good friends. So that's positive. That's positive on the outside. I don't know about soul on the inside, but it is having no judgment about who the other person is at all. I hope that answers the question in a way that makes sense. What skills are most necessary for self-development? What do you want to develop? I don't have a general self-development context. I talk about playing games. I talk about playing games in our lives. Everything is a game. And if you are playing a game in your life, the education game, Okay, this is the naughty boy. Sorry about that. So I don't have a general self-development context. Okay, I do have the games that we play. The business game, the education game, the relationship game, or whatever game it is, requires a different set of skills, requires a different way to play. And then we look at and the different sorry about that. And the different ways to play requires different set of skills. Okay, how we want to play, the outcomes that we want to create is not the same. So I'll look at the results and outcome that I want to create. Then I ask, what do I need? What do I need to get to that point? What do I need to create that? Okay, so understanding what the game is, and then asking what skills do I need? What knowledge do I need? What tools do I need? And then learning that. Of course, if we zoom out and look at all the different games, I will say this: it is not a skill that we need for self-development. It is an attitude that we need. An attitude for growth, an attitude to learn, an attitude for expansion, and an acknowledgement that our reality box that we live in, that there are limits to this reality box, that there are things that we do not know. Okay, so there has to be an attitude for learning and growth. And then there's the principles of how we can learn how we learn how to learn, and our willingness to learn how to learn. Okay, then we learn the skills. So it's not the skills for self-development, it's the attitude that we have. Okay, an ever open attitude and a desire to learn and grow, and an acknowledgement that there are things that we do not know and need to know. So that I hope that makes sense. Have a learning attitude. What are the differences between sympathy and empathy? Sympathy is feeling, is understanding what someone else is feeling. Okay, and acknowledging that person for whatever he or she is feeling. So if the person is hurt or sad or happy, then sympathy is, I understand that you're feeling happy, sad, or whatever it is. Empathy is being able to place ourselves into the other person's position and feeling and seeing from where they are inside out. So it is sympathy. In the easiest way I can explain, sympathy is the outsider looking in and recognizing something that's going on. Empathy is the outsider experiencing it from where the person is and understanding what's going on. So that perspective is a little bit different. How do you utilize this in leadership? It is acknowledging. Okay, I think I will zoom out and I will say, regardless of whether it's sympathy or empathy, it is our ability to acknowledge each person for who he or she is first. Okay, everybody has a gift to give to the world. Everybody has a talent. Everyone has value that they can create. Now, each of us as humans have hopes, dreams, and desires. We also have fears, concerns, and emotions. Okay, and that makes us human. Being a leader being a leader to me is acknowledging the total person for who he or she is, that they have both strengths and weaknesses, that they have dreams and fears, and they have hopes and concerns, okay, as a whole person. Then my job is to bring out the best in them. My job is to create an environment where they can win. My job is to provide a safe space for them to operate in a way that works for them. Okay, my job is to be a guide. Okay, so it is way beyond empathy and sympathy, and empathy and sympathy may be parts of that. Okay, so being a leader is seeing in and looking out. But more than that, embracing the person for the amazing being that he or she is, and giving them the opportunity to become the best version of themselves, and helping them fulfill their dreams, helping them allay their fears, and giving them a safe space to play the game. I hope that answers the question. I don't know. I don't know. To get an experience. Why do we come to this world? To get an experience. My opinion is this: to get an experience. And the thing I say this to everyone. Okay, each of us. I don't have to be right about this. I believe that each of us are here to get the best experience that we can get. Okay, and when we get the experience, then our life is over. So, so I don't know. I don't really know. That's my opinion about why I think I am here. Maybe we'll have this conversation when we move from this physical plane, from this reality to the next, and then we can have this conversation again and say that, wow, that time when we were humans. that's why we were there. So I don't know. How can I talk to my inner self? Wait. Quiet your mind. The thing for me is this: I know that I'm talking to myself all the time. Okay, you cannot imagine. You cannot imagine the conversations that go on in my head. What I also know, earlier I talked about the strengths quotient and how we are wired. How we are wired creates the conversations that go on in our head. So earlier I talked about positivity, okay, as a talent that some people have. So there are lists of 34 talents, okay, 34 ingredients. And each of us have got these different combinations of these ingredients. So positivity is not something that's very high for me. But what I do have very high for me is this talent, or this gift, that's called connectedness. And people with high connectedness believe that there is no coincidence in the world, that everything happens for a reason, that all of us are connected in some way. And we also believe that what we throw out comes back. Okay, sometimes people call this karma. So if I throw negative energy out, negative energy will come back. Okay, so that's connectedness. Okay, and that's one of the highest talents that I have. So the conversations that go on in my head, in my experience of the world, okay, as I experience the world on a daily basis, the conversations are always about, how does this connect to that? Okay, how does this impact this? How does this influence this? If I do this, how is it, what's going to happen, and how is it going to ripple. So these are the conversations that go on in my head. Okay, very, very noisy, very, very noisy. Okay, and I've got other talents that have different conversations. So my one of my other talents is this talent that's called strategic. So I'm also highly strategic. You throw me any situation, okay, I will find the easiest and most. I think I will immediately see the easiest and the most optimal ways that I can get from a point A to a point B. Okay, and these are all the paths. Okay, and this is how we can do that. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the other talents. Okay, but between these two talents, they're already having a conversation up there. Okay, very, very noisy. And earlier I also talked about this, that they can work for us and they can also work against us. Okay, sometimes these two guys, Mr. Strategic and Mr. Connectedness, they think they know, but actually they don't. Okay, but they just know. They're like children playing. They just know how to play in the way that they are playing. Okay, so for my job is to teach them how to play properly. But in the meantime, they're having all these conversations that's going on in my head. Very noisy. So what do I do to take away that noise? I quieten myself down. Okay, some people meditate. I don't, because I fall asleep, and maybe I'm doing it the wrong way. Okay, but I find moments when these two guys don't have anything to talk about. Okay, and I create environments like that. Okay, I take myself away from the busyness of life. Okay, and then when there's nothing to do, these two guys quieten down, then other things come up. And some of the other things that come up, okay, have got to do with the things I want to do and why I'm doing it. Okay, and you can imagine, you go to a party, very, very noisy. Okay, there's everybody wants to talk, and they talk louder and louder and louder. Okay, but if you are in a quiet environment, when there's no need to fight with each other, there's no noise, when everybody's quietened down, you hear different things. The conversations are different. Okay, when we are not busy with the busyness of life, when we take time to feel the sunshine, okay, and each of us have different ways to find that peace, to find that solitude. I don't know what works for you guys, but this is what works for me. Okay, I go into the environments where I calm myself down and allow different conversations to take place. Okay, and I listen. I listen to the different conversations. I contemplate when there's nothing to contemplate. I ask questions when there's no questions to ask. And then I get answers when there are no answers to get. And sometimes that can be really, really magical. So that works for me. Okay, you need to find your own space of solitude and quiet. Okay, and I don't mean a physical environment, because some people need noisy environments and they're okay with noisy environments and still be able to go into that state. Okay, some people need to go to the mountain somewhere and detach from humanity. I don't know what works for you. Okay, so that's something that you need to find for yourself. Okay, but the main thing really is get away from the busyness of life. Get away from all the distractions. Okay, get away from social media, get away from everything, and just be with yourself and start listening. You might not get it immediately. Okay, so you need to test different ways. Do you think types of people are more suitable for engineering? I believe so. I believe so, because each of us are talented differently. A swimmer will swim. Okay, a basketball player will play basketball, and a soccer player will play soccer. Okay, a diver will dive. If each of them are gifted in that way because they are wired that way, then they will be best at doing that. The universe has given us gifts. Okay, besides the struggles and the challenges, the universe also give us how we are wired. And then I said this earlier, our job, okay, my job, okay, is to be the best version of who I am. Then I need to take what I've got, okay, and be the best version with what I've got and not want to be someone else. Okay, so I think this is sometimes hard for people to take because I think we grow up in the world today programmed with certain ideas of what it means to be an engineer, an economist, a business person, a banker, a doctor, an architect, or lawyer, whatever it is. Okay, so we are programmed a certain way about the good or bad with each of these vocations. And then we take that programming and we have a judgment about who we need to be and what is and how we want to be based on how the environment is. And I think that's not fair. That's not fair because whilst you can do something that you're not wired to do, you're not going to be the best at it, and it's going to take a lot of effort, okay, to do the same thing. Okay, a lot of us, give you guys an example, a lot of us are right-handed. Okay, I'm right-handed. Okay, I don't know why I'm right-handed, but things are easier for me when I use my right hand. And predominantly, a lot of people are also right-handed, so we live in a predominantly right-handed world. Okay, but then there are also people who are left-handed, and I'm not sure about other cultures, but in the Chinese culture, being left-handed is bad or not good. And left-handed kids often also are forced to use their right hand or develop their right hand. Okay, but let's say that aside. If you are a right-handed person, okay, and you learn things and you do things, you develop your right-handedness very, very well. Now, if you want to do the same thing, but now I tell you, use your left hand. Okay, can you do it? Can you do it? Immediately, no. But can you train your left hand to do it? Eventually, yes. Is it going to be easy? I don't think so. But the thing is this, okay, if it takes, it might take a significant amount of time, energy, and resources and practice to train your left hand to be as good as your right hand, and it may never be as good as your right hand. But if it takes so much time, if it takes 5 years for your left hand to do what your right hand can do in 1 year, you have wasted 4 years. So it's not impossible, okay, to do things that you are not wired to do. It just takes a lot of effort. And that effort, imagine this, if it takes me 5 years to develop my left hand to be as good as my right hand, in that 5 years, how I just put all the resource into developing my right hand, how much better is my right hand going to be compared to my left hand? So I don't waste time. Okay, so for people to do engineering and to be, I don't know, for the economy, okay, there are a lot of things that we can do for the economy. All of us contribute to the economy. But I'm going to take engineering as an example. Okay, it requires a certain way of analyzing information, of looking at things, that not all of us are wired to do, and it drives us. It may drive us nuts doing it, and it may take us a lot of effort to do that thing. Okay, so what do engineers need? Okay, to be systematic, to be analytical, to be deliberative, to be able to fix problems, to be fixers, to be strategic about it. Certain set of talents required. Okay, but engineering is also a very, very broad field. Okay, and within this very, very broad field, you may need different combinations of these talents. What if you don't have these talents, and everybody tells you, hey, engineering is a good job to have. Engineering is a good vocation, is a good profession to be in, and you don't have all these talents, it's going to create struggle. It's going to create a lot of struggle, and this struggle. I'm sorry, this struggle is not a gift from the universe. This struggle is we take this struggle ourselves. Okay, when the universe has given us will give us different gifts. Okay, this struggle is not from the universe. Okay, then if we still want to do it right, just have to work very hard and not be as good. Then my question is, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to do that? The thing is also this: the world is changing. The world is changing. That attitude about the different professions and all that, okay, came from the industrial age. It is also changing. We have a lot more freedom now. We have a lot more access to a lot of other things right now, and it doesn't have to be that way. So if you're wired and you love that particular type of work, if you're wired that way, then go do it. If you're not, then do what calls to you to do. That's what I would say about being an engineer or otherwise. Depends on what difficulties. How do you stay long enough? How do you persevere long enough? Depends on what difficulties. Is it difficulties that you can get better at, or is it difficulties in the environment? There are environments that are not safe. Okay, so I want to talk about environments. I want to talk about environments. There are safe environments and there are environments that are not safe. What do I mean by that? Safe environments allow us to be who we are. Allow us to be who we are, allow us to learn, allow us to grow, allows us to make mistakes, allow us to make corrections. Environments that are not safe, okay, in other words, toxic environments, when we make mistakes, when we make mistakes, we are punished or penalized. When we are being ourselves, we are criticized. Okay, we are forced to be people that we are not. We are forced to be protective. Okay, we are forced to fit into molds. We are subject to all sorts of things. Okay, that drain our energy. Okay, so in those environments, I would say get out. Get out, because it is not safe. Okay, and we lose ourselves. We wear ourselves out. In safe environments, despite the difficulties become opportunities to learn and grow. So it is different. So in safe environments, over time, we continue to grow. So I talk about difficulties and challenges being gifts from the universe. Okay, but there's also safety in the environment. Okay, so you need to decide, you need to assess, okay, whether you're in a safe environment that allows you to turn the difficulties into opportunities for growth, or the difficulties are going to drain you and kill you in the process. So in those environments, get out. What's the real function of money? What's money? What's money? What's money to you guys? We talk about money all the time. Money makes the world go round. Money is the root of all evil. So what's money? Did money always exist? It didn't. Money is an idea. You guys know how money was created. Once upon a time, I have chicken, you have wood, somebody has stone. Okay, I want wood to build my house. I have chicken, I give chicken, I take the wood, I build my house, and then the person got chicken to eat. Okay, then I build my house, the wood not strong enough, I need stone. Then I give the person chicken, the person don't want, the person wants wood. And so it became complex. Okay, so what started as a way to exchange became complicated, and someone thought of, hey, how do we make this easier, and money was created. So money is an idea. Somebody thought of it. Okay, it was an idea that was created. So if money is an idea that's created, what was money created for? To create exchange. That's all it is. So if money is an idea, then there are two other things that I want to talk about. So money is an idea. What is cash and what is currency? Okay, we tend to talk about money and cash interchangeably, but are they the same? So what's money and what is cash and what is currency? So money is an idea. Cash is the liquidity of money. Okay, cash is the physical form that allows us to create the exchange. So remember, money is just the idea. Okay, I have something, you have something, we want to trade. Okay, so the idea of money was created, then cash is the form. Okay, in whatever country we have a form of cash. In the US, you have US dollars. In Singapore, we have Singapore dollars. In Vietnam, in whatever we have our form of cash. Then what is currency? Okay, currency is the name that we give to the money that we have. The US dollar is currency. Singapore dollar is currency. Rupiah is currency. Ringgit is currency. Okay, so all currency is how we measure cash. Is how we give a number to the amount of cash that we have. So money is an idea. Cash is the form of money, and currency is how we measure the cash that we have. Okay, so money, remember, money is just an idea. Then we talk about, if money is an idea, we talk about money being an object. Money being an object as an idea. There are three elements that we need to consider, that we need to understand about this idea that's called money. The first is the cost of money. Okay, so imagine this. If money was a mouse. Okay, so the mouse is the currency. Okay, money, idea, so in the form of mouse. So I use mouse to change. Okay, so this as an object has got a cost. Okay, the cost of producing this object. This object is a cost. Let's say the cost of producing this is $10. Then it has a price. What is the price? They may be selling it. Will they sell it at $10? No. So this mouse is about, I think, $99, or it was about $99 when I bought it. So that's the price. Okay, so that's cost, there is price. Then there is value. So I pay $99 for this mouse that costs $10. What is the value of this mouse? Is it $99? No, it is not. Because with this mouse, I can create a lot of things. I can do work, I can use Windows, I can do a lot of things. And from using this mouse, I might be able to generate, okay, from the work that I do, thousands or tens of thousands or even millions of dollars. Okay, so that is the value of this mouse. Okay, so that's cost, physically, how much it costs, the what to make it, the price, which is how it's traded, and the value is what it creates. Okay, so these are the concepts to understand about money, which starts as just an idea. Okay, so if the idea is money, there is money, the idea, cash, the cash, which is the liquidity, and currency, which is how we measure the liquidity. And money as an object has got value, has got cost, price, and value. Then how do you make use of all this to make more money? Does that make sense? Okay, if you understand cost, price, and value, you will understand how the idea of money will be able to make more money. But you see, the thing also is this. Okay, some people look at this mouse, $99. Price is too high. They call it expensive. Okay, I like this mouse because it's easy to use. It fits in my hand. Okay, I got big hands. It fits in my hands. It allows me to do things faster. It allows me to do things more efficiently. Okay, and it certainly lasts quite some time. I've had this for at least 5 years. Okay, and instead they say, well, $99 is very expensive. Buy a $30 mouse. A mouse that's $30. Price, remember, price is $30. Okay, so it's considered cheaper. Okay, but I've used a lot of cheap mouse before. Okay, but it makes me frustrated because after a while it's not sensitive, and it breaks down within a year, and then I have to replace it. So imagine this: it's $99. This $99 has lasted me 5 years. Okay, and if I buy a $30 mouse, a mouse is $30, and every year I have to change the mouse. In 5 years, I would have paid $150. So I would have lost $50 in terms of price. But because I'm frustrated and I'm not as efficient using that $30 mouse, the value that I will create might be a lot less. So how does money make money? Understand the concept, understand the idea, understand that there may be a cost, there's a price, but cost and price is not as important as the value that it will generate. If I have a dollar, okay, if I have a dollar and it can generate me, so if I have a dollar, okay, if I have the dollar, $1 cash, $1 cash, the currency is $1, okay, and an opportunity, and I hold on to that $1, okay, make it simple, $10. I hold on to that $10 in the cash form, okay, and I keep it because I only have $10. Then an opportunity comes along, $10 opportunity. I can put that $10 in, okay, and I put that $10, and it makes me $10 back. Okay, so if I keep the money, if I keep that $10, what is the value of that $10? I don't opportunity come. I don't buy the opportunity. I just keep the $10. What is the value of my $10? Let's say 1 year later, still $10. Okay, so the price is $10. The value is still $10. But actually, it's not $10 because there's inflation. So 1 year later, the inflation, I don't know how many percent it is. So the value, even though the price is $10, 1 year later, the value might not be $10 anymore. It might be less. So I actually lose value. But if I take this $10 and put into the opportunity, 1 year later, it becomes $20. Okay, and I sell that opportunity, I get $20 back. Okay, so what is that value of that $10? What's the value of that $10? It's $20 because I bought the opportunity. Makes sense. But some people want to hold on to the $10. When you learn, what will you do if you realize that you could not understand? Learn a lesson from the universe. When you learn, what will you do if you realize you could not understand? Wow. So I have this belief, and the belief is this: the universe will continue to give us an experience until we get the lesson. So if the universe throws us a challenge and we don't get it, we don't understand, we don't overcome the challenge, we don't solve the problem that we are presented with, then what happens? You will keep coming back. You will keep coming back. And then you do again, and then you will keep coming back. As long as you don't get the lesson, you will keep coming back. So what do you do? What do you do? So the first thing is to recognize that it's not working. Okay, whatever it is, okay, if it keeps coming back, means you didn't get it. And when you realize that you didn't get it and it keeps coming back, then for me, the next question I ask would be this: okay, what am I doing, okay, to get the lesson? What am I doing, okay, to understand what's not working? What am I doing to overcome that challenge, to create a breakthrough? And the crazy thing is this: a lot of us, and that's me too, use brute force. Okay, you hit the wall doesn't break. Okay, you hit the wall doesn't break. Then you hit harder. Then the wall still doesn't break. Then you hit harder some more. Sometimes it is not about hitting the wall. Okay, if you keep hitting the wall, it doesn't break, then you're not getting it. So someone said this: it is insanity to expect a different outcome if you continue to do the same thing over and over again. Okay, then I will ask a question: what do I need to do differently? What do I need to do differently? What is it that I'm doing that is not working? Okay, what is it that I'm doing that I'm not getting it? Okay, then how do I know when I get it? Okay, I will keep testing different things. I'll keep doing things differently. And one of these different things that I do is going to work. And the lesson is in that thing that works. So don't keep doing the same thing. If you hit the wall, cannot break, go around the wall or find a different way. What's the first thing I have to do if I want to help people? Help yourself. What's the first thing I want to do if I want to help people? Help yourself first. Help yourself first. Be in a position. Create for yourself an environment where you can create value for someone else. And the simple analogy or example I will give is this: when we are flying, okay, when we are in an aircraft, when we are before the takeoff, right? The flight steward or stewardess will do the demonstration. In case of emergency, the oxygen mask will come down, and what do they tell you to do? Okay, the first thing they tell you, if you are with a child or someone else that needs help, okay, you don't put the mask on that someone else first. You put the mask on yourself, so that you will have the capacity to be able to do that for someone else. Okay, so help yourself first. Prepare yourself with whatever it is that you want to help someone with. Because the thing also is this: if we have not done it ourselves, we cannot help someone else with that problem that we want to help them with. If we don't know how to run, we cannot teach someone how to run. If we don't know how to do whatever it is, we cannot help someone else do that. So whatever it is, whatever form of help or aid that you want to give someone else, you need to be able to create that for yourself first. So help yourself first. Help yourself first. Put yourself into a position, into a powerful position where you can then create that value for someone else. That's what I believe. You need to help yourself first. But some people don't want to do that. Some people want to self-sacrifice, okay, to help other people. No use. No, if you self-sacrifice and you cannot survive, you cannot last. If it's not sustainable, how many people can you help? If you don't have the resources, if you don't have the skills, you don't have the talents, you don't have the environment, the setup, the systems, the structure to be able to create, to take care of yourself, and then you want to self-sacrifice, you might be able to do it for a little while, then you run out of resources. Then how many people can you help? So for me, the idea of helping is that it's got to be sustainable. And so you need to create that sustainability for yourself first. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so say 30. Okay, I'll take one last question. How can you always stay consistent with your goals? You don't need to. You don't need to, because goals are designed. So here's the thing: goals are designed. The only thing that goals are designed to do is to keep us in motion. Okay, if we don't have if we don't have a goal, okay, we just go around in circles. We don't go anywhere. It's because we have a point B to go to. We have a goal. Then we start a journey to get to our point B. We look for the resources, the skills, or whatever it is to get the point B. Hang on for a second. Okay, I'm going to put Charlie into prison the next time we do this. So the role of goals is to keep us in motion. Okay, so that we have a point B to get to. Along the way, the universe is going to give us feedback. Okay, it's going to tell us what works, what doesn't work, and then if we listen to the universe, we might start adjusting. Okay, so in the end, you might not end up with the same goal that you started with, and that's okay. Okay, sometimes we persist on the goal, and then the universe gives us feedback, obstacles, whatever it is, and then we don't listen to the universe and we persist. Okay, there's a consequence to that. Okay, because that might not be where the universe wants us to go. Okay, so you don't have to stick with it. Listen to the feedback from the universe in whatever forms it shows up, and then make adjustments along the way. The universe will be the guide. So don't be fixated with that goal. The goal is just the starting point to start the journey. Okay, so what small talk would you like me to have with you guys? I hope that you guys have enjoyed, okay, have got value from the hour or so, because I'm actually very grateful that you guys are even spending time at all. Okay, to me it is a gift. It is a gift from you guys to me to be able to share this, so that my experiences are not wasted. I'm not right all the time. Okay, I'm not right all the time. It is just my experience, and I told you guys this before. It is just my experience. It is just what's worked. Okay, but life is amazing. Life is amazing in the way that each of us will get unique gifts. Okay, and our job, not only becoming the best version of ourselves, but in being the best version of ourselves, to be able to share with each other as well, and how I see, if we do that, okay, if we do that, if we continue to contribute and create value for each other, there is no need to compete. There's no need to fight. There is no need to be afraid. And how, if we do that, we can all create a better world for everyone. Okay, and that's what it is. Okay, so I also want to apologize for Charlie. Okay, he's just sitting actually just down there, and sometimes he's being protective and he go bark at people walking past outside the house. Okay, but next time I'm going to lock him in my room when I do this, so that yeah, so that we don't get interrupted. Okay, so thank you all. Okay, so thank you all for being the audience. Thank you all for your time. I am very grateful. And if you enjoyed this evening's session and the conversations that we've had, please, as usual, like, share, and subscribe. And I let me know if this is meaningful for you. And I look forward to seeing you next week again, on the next episode of Kampung Kid Life. So have a amazing new year and the coming weekend ahead, and have fun in your life. Kampung Kid out. Good night, everyone.